Hey guys, it's the Diecast Man here bringing you a much needed review. Today it is going to be on a comparison of the 1/18 scale Maisto SL63 and the 1/18 scale Maisto SL65. So a couple things I do want to say to get out of the way before I begin the review. And that is, one, my inactivity. Yes, the final days of school are closing in, so that means two things basically. It means more activity on my channel and more reviews, and also graduation money that I can use on some models. So I have already picked out what I want, and they will be coming within the next couple of weeks, hopefully, if everything goes as planned. I'm not going to tell you what they are yet, but I'm going to just tell you that they are really fantastic. So you guys will be probably pretty thrilled with them. I'm going to be thrilled with them as soon as I get them here, and of course I'll most likely do some unboxings of those as well. So to kind of pick up right where we left off on the channel, you can see I have the 2013 SL63 and SL65. I had the 2009s before, and I said that right after I was going to do another video with these. So there's not a whole lot really that you can compare with them since they're basically identical cars. But it's just the engine that differentiates them most of the time. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get started. So I think because it's a convertible and it's easier for me to do interior shots and things, I think I'm going to put the SL63 to the side, but just like I did on the other SLs, I'm just going to make like little notes like I did before. So this SL is in a nice like Designo matte gray, or yeah, I guess it's a matte gray. It's like very metallic-y though, still a beautiful, beautiful color. And then this one is in a red. I do not know of the other colors that you can get them in, but of course I will link two links to each one of these, and I believe I got them at Costco and paid the regular $13.99 US dollar price. Alright, so taking a look at the front of the SL65, right away you notice those really nicely done headlights. You can see there's a lot of the chrome pieces, and you can see that there's no peg whatsoever. The headlights, however, do, move a little bit on this particular one. They don't on this side, but I guess it's just luck of the draw. And then you can see where the LEDs would be as well. So moving on to the front grille. No, it is not perforated mesh. It is just a piece of mesh there. But still does look very nice. And then you can see the Mercedes emblem there. And then the nice star in the center. Got the foreign plate as well, and then the LED DRLs on the bottom. And then the sort of nice little splitter here on the front. Looks very, very nice. And the same thing goes for the SL63. I do have a couple little nicks on the hood right there. I've had this car for a long time, so those things do kind of happen, I guess, sometimes. But I've had this car since I was like little and didn't really take care of the models, I guess, or cherish them as much as I do now. But while we're on the hood topic, you can see the little intakes here. Those are really cool. They sort of match those ones on the other side, and then the same thing, of course, is on the SL63 over there. Alright. So there's kind of your front look at the very sharp SL65. And then moving on to the side profile, it's beautiful. I really hope Maisto comes out with what the new SLs look like for the SL63 and 65, because I just love those. So examining here in the front, you'll see these nice spoked wheels. I mean, these things are just, they're so nice. The spokes are so thin and everything, and it just looks so good with the metallic finish. And then you can see the caliper and the rotor back there in orange that does say AMG. The caliper does not spin, unfortunately. That's always a nice detail feature that they include in some Maistos, but fortunately not this SL65 or this SL63. And then the V12 bi-turbo badge there with the intake, and then of course on the 63 it's a V8 bi-turbo. Okay, so you can see the nice mirrors as well, where we have that iconic design there that would be the turn indicators, and then the door handles are very nice. The lighting right now gives you a very nice look at how metallic this paint actually is, even though it is like a matte paint, which is very cool. It's something definitely different in your collection if you don't have many matte cars, which I don't. Alright, moving on to the back. A couple of things I do want to say right off, that the back does look really, really awesome, but my main complaint is these exhaust tips. Now you can see just from this with my finger that these things are loose. I mean, it's crazy how much they move. So that's definitely something They don't move as much, however they do still move on the SL63, which is definitely something that I don't necessarily like a lot. But taking a look at both back ends, the taillights do look very, very nice. You can see where the white would be in the reverse indications and the LEDs. It's all very clear. And then you can see this sort of Maisto's early attempt at a carbon spoiler here. There's a little bit of carbon texturing, I guess, there, but not really a very good shot at it. But the effort is there, definitely. And then your brake light, and then Mercedes logo. We got the other foreign plate, AMG 65 embossed on there, is very, very nice. Yeah, and then the exhausts, which are super wobbly, but they do look really good. And then the diffuser bit down there, and the same thing goes for the 63. Alright, so now we're just going to go right into all of the opening parts of both of these models. So just like most Maistos, we've got the engine, and then both doors, it's really hard to get them open from this angle, and then the back trunk, I find, does not really stay up very well. Oh, well, maybe it does. You gotta really kind of pull it in order for it to do that. So, I'm really glad here that this is different, because if you remember on the 2009s, I believe that the engine was not different, but here it is different. So if you take a look at that huge V12 there, it's nice because this doesn't really move at all. The detail is very good with all the black plastic and the AMG, and then the plaque where it would say, you know, who hand built it in Germany. So that looks very nice. And then this engine is definitely different, but it does move quite a bit. Once again, I think it might be one of those luck of the draw things. But there are definitely a couple of you know, quality control issues that I find on both of these models. But you know, it's a Maisto. You know, it's kind of expected, I guess you could say. But not that they're bad in quality at all, because for the price they're very, very good. But this V8 looks very good, very different from this V12. So that's definitely a very nice thing. And then not much to see in the back for either one of these models. So just your typical black plastic front trunk. Yeah, not really any different overall. Alright, now since this one's a convertible, it's going to be a lot easier. Alright, so the interior of this looks phenomenal, right? They absolutely nailed it. I mean, Mercedes makes some of the most beautiful interiors, in my opinion. So, if you look at the door panels there, you can see sort of the diamond stitched pattern. That looks awesome with the door handles. Looks so good. And then even the pedals down there, you can see the brake, the gas, the dead pedal, it all looks so good. The seat belts too. And then you can see that huge AMG wheel there with the power steering that works super nice. That wheel looks awesome. You can see all the multifunction controls there. And the gauges. And then you can see the clock. And oh, it looks so good. And there's the carbon fiber trim. And then the big Mercedes shifter. Everything is colored in. You can just make out like where everything is so perfectly. So they did a really good job on that. And then the map on the screen as well. So there's your look at the interior. Looks super, super good. The seats too, you can see the air scarf. They look super comfy, matching that diamond stitch pattern that we saw on the door sills. With the seat belts, it's so good looking. And then the same thing goes for the 63, but it's just all black. Yep. And then turning it over, it just says Mercedes SL65, scale 118 Maisto, and then of course it would just be the 63 on the other one. Alright, so for these two models, they do both have working suspension. Let me get them in both. There we go. So they do both have working suspension front and rear. It's very, very good. They ride a little bit higher than you would think that they would, and that's why, you know, there's the suspension, because that's why Maisto does that. Just so that they have the suspension, so they ride a little bit higher than you would think. But the suspension is very, very good, and as I showed you before, I'll show you one more time, you can see that the power steering works great on both cars. So I think that basically wraps up the review. I'm really excited to share with the channel the new stuff that I'm getting in. And of course, I'll have those videos up hopefully the day that I get them in, which I don't know when it will be, but it'll be sometime probably within the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, I'll just be posting other types of videos. So, yeah. That's probably going to be it for the comparison series, since I don't really have a lot of the same cars, like this, that are just one model higher, one model lower than the other one, if you will. You know what I mean. So, yeah, with this 1/18 scale SL63 and SL65 comparison by Maisto, it's the Diecast Man, signing off.